I found out my fiancée cheated on me with 3 random men during her bachelorette weekend. So I vanished without a word, and the aftermath completely shattered the perfect existence she had always projected. Emma and I, both 30 now, first met when we were 24 at a mutual friend's birthday gathering. I still remember catching sight of her across the noisy room, laughing brightly at someone's comment, and instantly deciding she was the most beautiful person I'd ever seen. Her energy was electric, the type that pulled everyone toward her like gravity. Before the night ended, we were out on the terrace talking about bands, movies, travel dreams, and life goals, and I was already lost in her. We started going out a few weeks later and moved in together before our first year was up. Everything felt ideal, or at least that's what I told myself. Emma loved going out more than I ever did, but I never saw it as a real problem. I thought we balanced each other perfectly. I was the calm, dependable half, and she was the wildfire. When I got down on one knee last year, I was absolutely convinced she was the one I'd spend my life with. She cried happy tears the moment I asked, said yes instantly. And for months we poured ourselves into wedding planning, scouting locations, tasting cakes, arguing playfully about whether the bar should be open or limited. I honestly believed we were building something unbreakable together. I couldn't have been more wrong. It all unraveled because of a gift bag of all things. I got off work earlier than expected that day and thought I'd surprise her by cooking dinner. When I stepped into our building, I noticed a small, glittery bag sitting right outside our apartment door with a card that said, "To the wildest bride-to-be, you deserved every second of it. Zoxo Sasha." At first it didn't register as anything strange. Sasha had been Emma's ride or die since university, always loud, always extra, always stirring some kind of storm. I'd never been her biggest fan, but I tolerated her because Emma loved her. They called themselves inseparable. Still, that card rubbed me the wrong way. I carried the bag inside, set it on the counter, and stared at it for a good 5 minutes, something gnawing at me. I argued with myself, it's probably harmless, just party favors. But curiosity won. I told myself it wasn't snooping if it was sitting in plain sight. Inside were the usual bachelorette goodies: a cheap plastic crown, a bride's last ride sash, handfuls of glitter. Then my hand closed around a pair of men's underwear, clearly worn. My stomach dropped, but I tried to rationalize maybe a joke gift. That's when I saw the thumb drive tucked at the very bottom. Something made me plug it straight into my laptop. The first clip started innocently. Emma and her friends squeezed into a club booth, clinking glasses, everyone already tipsy. The camera zoomed shakily on Emma wearing the crown and sash, glowing, radiating pure joy. The next scene shifted to a strip club stage. Emma up there grinding on a male dancer while her friends screamed encouragement. I thought, okay, bachelorette antics, not great, but survivable. Then the footage followed her pulling the dancer by the hand toward a back area, giggling the whole way. I paused it, heart hammering, telling myself maybe she just wanted a private dance, nothing more. Any remaining hope died with the following clips. It showed Emma in a dimly lit lounge surrounded by 3 different guys, flirting hard, drinks flowing. One kissed her and she kissed back hungrily. Then another joined. By the end of the video, she was leading all 3 out of frame toward what was obviously a hotel room upstairs. Sasha's voice narrated in the background, cackling, "Emma, you absolute legend. Future Mrs. Perfect, just one bride of the year." I sat frozen, feeling my entire world collapse. This wasn't the woman I'd spent 6 years loving. This wasn't the Emma who fell asleep on my chest during rom-com marathons. This wasn't the Emma who talked about baby names and growing old together. When she walked through the door that evening, she acted like nothing had happened, kissed my cheek, asked about my day, started chattering about centerpieces Sasha had found. I smiled on autopilot while inside I was dying. I felt like the biggest idiot on earth for missing the signs. That night I didn't sleep. I lay staring at the dark ceiling while the footage replayed behind my eyes, every moan, every laugh cutting deeper. Part of me wanted to wake her up and scream until my throat bled, but I knew nothing she could say would ever make it right. The next morning she left for work early, kissed my forehead, whispered, "See you tonight, babe, love you." I forced a smile and said, "You too." The second the door shut, I moved like a man possessed. I yanked a weekend bag from the closet and started throwing in clothes, toiletries, my laptop, anything I could grab. I didn't sort, didn't fold, didn't care. Furniture, dishes, decorations, she could have it all. I just needed out. I'd never been impulsive in my life. I'm the guy who color codes itineraries. Yet there I was, stuffing socks into shoes because I couldn't waste another second in that apartment. I opened my phone, searched for anywhere far enough away to breathe, and found a quiet lakeside cabin retreat 2 hours out with a last-minute cancellation. I booked 7 nights without blinking at the price. Before walking out, I grabbed the wedding binder, venue contracts, photographer deposits, everything. I wasn't paying for a single flower that would never be walked past. Still clutching my bag, I called the venue. "Hi, this is Ethan Carter. I need to cancel the wedding scheduled for next month." The coordinator sounded stunned. "May I ask the reason?" "Personal reasons," I said flatly. She mentioned penalties. I told her to charge whatever, just make it gone. Then I left. Didn't look back once. The drive felt like I was watching someone else's life through a fogged window. My phone vibrated non-stop. Emma wondering where I was, then panicking when she got home early too and found half my closet empty. I silenced it and kept driving. The cabin was small but perfect, king bed, little kitchen, fireplace, deck hanging over still water. I dropped my bag, sat on the edge of the mattress, and finally let the air leave my lungs. For the first time since opening that bag, I cried. I spent the day mechanically unpacking, flinching at every creak, half expecting Emma to come storming in. When I finally looked at my phone, there were 37 missed calls and texts that went from casual to hysterical. I called my parents instead, gave them the short version. My mom just said, "Whatever you need, sweetheart." My dad added, "You dodged a bullet, son, proud of you." That night I knew with absolute certainty I was never going back. But one loose end kept scratching at me. Sasha. She hadn't just filmed it, she'd orchestrated it, celebrated it, gift-wrapped the evidence, and dropped it at my door like a trophy. That note, "You earned every moment," was practically a signed confession. I decided she would be the first person I confronted, not Emma. I downloaded a burner number app and texted, "It's Ethan. Cafe on 7th and Main, tomorrow noon. Come alone." She replied instantly, "What's wrong? Is Emma okay?" I left her on read. Next day, I drove back into the city, parked 3 blocks away, and watched her strut in wearing a hot pink blazer, 6-inch heels, and sunglasses inside like a wannabe influencer. I waited 5 minutes, then walked in and slid into the booth opposite her. She grinned at first. "You scared me, dude. What's this about?" I didn't smile. "The USB you left at my door, I watched it, all of it." Her face flickered. "Oh, that? Ethan, come on, it's just bachelorette tradition." "Tradition?" I kept my voice low. "Getting railed by 3 strangers while your maid of honor films and narrates is tradition now." She shifted uncomfortably. "She's a grown woman, nobody forced her. You hyped her up, you recorded it, you delivered the evidence like a proud mom dropping off recital footage." She rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic, she still loves you. It was one crazy night." I leaned forward. "Here's the thing, Sasha, everyone's about to know exactly what kind of friend you really are, and what kind of fiancée she really is." Her smirk vanished. "What does that mean?" "You'll see." I stood and walked out. Back at the cabin, I started sending the files, carefully selected screenshots and short clips, to a handful of mutual friends I trusted with a simple message. "Please keep this private until I say otherwise." Radio silence from Sasha after that. Next on my list, Emma's parents. Linda and George had always treated me like I was barely good enough until the ring appeared. Living together before marriage had practically been a sin in their eyes. Once we were engaged, suddenly I was acceptable. I figured it was time they saw their flawless daughter for who she really was. Linda texted me the same day. "Ethan, Emma's beside herself. What on earth is going on? Please call." I replied I'd stop by their house the next morning. When Linda opened the door, she looked like she hadn't slept. George stood behind her clutching a coffee mug like a weapon. I didn't bother with small talk. I sat on their pristine white couch and said, "The wedding is canceled because of what Emma did at her bachelorette party. You should see it for yourselves." I handed Linda my phone. She pressed play. 30 seconds in, her hand flew to her mouth. By the end, she was crying silently. George snatched the phone, watched in stony silence, then looked like he might put his fist through the wall. "That's my little girl," he kept repeating. I stayed calm. "That's what she chose to do 3 weeks before marrying me, and her friends threw her a parade for it." Linda sobbed. "We raised her better than this." George pointed at the ceiling. "That Sasha, I always knew she was poison." I almost laughed. "You were worried about us living together before marriage, but missed the fact your daughter never grew up." I stood. "I'm not cleaning this up for her, she's your daughter." "Good luck." As I walked out, Linda begged, "Please don't tell anyone else, think of the family name. That ship has sailed." I deleted the voicemail they left later, apologizing on Emma's behalf. The fallout spread faster than I expected. Once a few trusted friends had the evidence, whispers became shouts. Sarah, another bridesmaid who'd been there that night, got a similar message from me. She called crying, claiming she didn't know it went that far and that Emma had laughed it would be boring married to Ethan and wanted one last taste of freedom. Sasha started getting frozen out at work and socially. She fired off angry texts telling me to stop ruining everyone's life. I never replied. Emma's parents apparently laid down an ultimatum: take accountability or you're out. When Emma kept blaming me and calling it a mistake everyone's blowing out of proportion, they packed her bags themselves and changed the locks. She tried crashing with Sasha. That lasted less than 48 hours before Sasha told her to stop making her the villain and kicked her out too. One by one, every friend distanced themselves. Some outright ghosted, others sent polite "I need space" messages. The girl who once had 100 people ready to drop everything for her suddenly had nowhere to sleep. Her job, a cushy marketing position her dad had pulled strings to get her, fell apart when the rumors hit the office. Officially, it was restructuring, but everyone knew. Last I heard from people still talking to me, Emma was living in a rundown studio she could barely afford, working barista shifts, and had burned through her savings in weeks. Her parents refused to help until she made things right, which in their minds started with a public apology she wasn't willing to give. Friends described her as a ghost of herself. No more designer bags, no more plans, no more invites anywhere. Sasha cut her off completely. Sarah blocked her on everything. Even the acquaintances stopped responding. Emma's final texts to me were raw desperation. "I have nothing left. I'm sorry. Please, Ethan, I'll do anything." I never answered. She wanted the thrill without the fallout. Now she has the fallout without anyone to save her. And me. I'm healing one quiet morning at a time, finally free of the lie I almost married. If this story hit you in the chest like it hit me living it, please drop a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more raw, real experiences. Your support keeps these stories coming. Thank you for reading. See you in the next one.